Hi, welcome to yet another episode of Crafted by Us. I'm your host, Michelle Johnson, and I have a fun painting project for us today. And for some of you who cringe when you hear the word painting, don't worry about it. This is going to be a lot of fun, super easy. Anybody can do it. You don't have to be a painter. Just get some paint and do it. So let's get started. So for this project, you're going to need something to paint on. In this case, I am using an old painting. Don't ask me what I was doing with this. It's really, really ugly. So just grab something. It's better, I think, if it has something on there. You could pick, a painting that you find at the garage sale, or a garage sale or the Goodwill, and then we're just going to paint over it. Okay, so you need a painting. And you need some paint. I'm going to use two colors, this green and purple, and this is just going to go underneath the green to give us some more depth and color. And then I have some rub-ons. I have a package of rub-ons, and I'm going to rub one of these or some of these words on after I'm all done. And then you need a paintbrush, and I'm using this painter's tape to mask off my lines. That should about do it, okay? So just a couple different colors of paint, your canvas, some tape, a paintbrush. It's going to be fun. It's going to be easy. Let's get started. Okay, so if you're familiar with any of the projects I've ever done, you know that sometimes I forget to tell you everything you need. Well, in this case, I forgot to tell you you need a ruler, and I have one of these acrylic rulers. If you don't have one of these, I would highly recommend getting one because you will use it for so many different things. And the other thing I wanted to share with you is I have this like Chevron style image that I drew up just to kind of get an idea of what I wanted to do. And I will put this on my website if you want to take a look at it or print it off or do whatever you want with it. You can get it at my website, www.craftedby.us. Okay, so let's go ahead and mask off some of these areas. So first of all, what I want to do is put a piece of tape across. I'm just kind of looking at this, making things up as I go, and I think I want to measure down about 2 inches and put a mark on each side, like so. And then I'm going to run a piece of tape across the top there. So I'm just sticking it from there to there, straight across the top. And then you want to make sure to wrap it around the sides because we're going to paint the sides too for this project. And then, so this divides my top part from my bottom, which is a little different than this, but like I said, I'm just using this as inspiration. And now I want to make my V pattern, and to do that, I'm just going to measure where the middle is here. My tape's in the way. Okay. So my mark is right there, and then I'm just going to go, since my ruler is 3 inches, I'm just going to put a mark on the side here, and in theory that'll give me a nice V shape. So let's try that. I'm going to go from this corner here to that one I just drew right there. Put that there and wrap this around the side. Same thing over here. Okay. And now let's do this side from that corner to there. Let's see how that looks. So that's the start, and then we're just going to move our tape up here. So let's see. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my ruler, and I'm going to use this as a guide to put my tape 3/4 of an inch distance. I just made that up, the 3/4 of an inch. So we'll see how it turns out. You can do whatever you want here. And I have found that for the tip here of when you're masking, it's nice to have this kind of trim like that. Okay. because you'll see what I mean once I do it. So I'm going to put the end of this tape about 3/4 of an inch from this one, because if I go any more then it's not going to match up on the other side. Yes. Oh, honestly, this isn't that hard. I just feel like sometimes when you know people are watching and you're trying to be quick, it's just there. Okay, so that's lined up right. Put our tape down like so. There we go. And now let's do the other direction. Okay. So I'm just going to keep working my way up till I get to this tape here. So I have the bottom part masked off. Now I want to put some stripes up here. And to do that, I'm going to figure out where my middle is again. And draw a line or a little mark here, just like that. And then I want to, let's see, how wide is my tape? My tape is like 1.5 inches. So if I go over 3/4 of an inch this way, 3/4 of an inch that way, that should tell me exactly where to put it. I just kind of guessed to see if that's straight. Looks straight to me. Okay. So then I'm just going to measure 3/4 of an inch over. Again, don't ask me why I picked that amount. I just did, and I think it's going to work. And I'm going to put my next piece of tape right here. And then do the other side. And let's see if we have 3/4 of an inch to go. We do. So I'm going to tape off this corner here too. Because I'm going to put 2 coats of green, I'm going to do this lighter green for a base coat and this on top. I'm just going to go ahead and start with this. And then hopefully by the time I get through it, the first coat, it'll be dry. Like when I get to this one. You know, like when you're doing your nails or something and, well, my brush is a little stiff. So I'm just going to go and paint in all the areas where I don't have tape. And this is just regular craft glue. Nothing fancy. This is just Heidi Swap craft glue. I think it's acrylic. Okay. And then after that dries, I'm going to add this Byzantia by Stuart Gill, which is kind of special. But if you don't have anything like that, just use whatever you've got. So we're just putting the last little bit of green on here, this other green. And then once it's on, I'm going to take the blue tape off and let it dry because then we're going to mask off again for our other color. So you want to make sure it's really dry so that when you pull up the tape for the second time, you're not pulling off the paint you just painted. It'd be a good time to maybe go start a little laundry, do some dishes, whatever. Okay, so let's take this tape off, and it's gonna look pretty, it looks pretty darn good like that. As soon as we take the tape off, it's gonna look ugly again, okay? But that's only because we have one more coat of stripes to do, okay? See what I'm talking about? Yikes. That blue kind of masked off all the ugliness of the painting, and now I'm revealing it again. All right. So just keep taking that paint off, or the tape off, and then let this dry. This is pretty close to being dry. So now what I want to do is I want to mask this off in such a way that I leave about 3/4 of an inch open so I can paint another stripe. And so I think that's just going to be, in this case, about, I'm going to put a piece of tape about 1/4 inch in here and here. And to start, this may be relatively easy, but I might have to trim some of my tape as I go along so I don't cover my space. So you'll see what I'm talking about here in a sec. So I'm just going to put this in at about 3/4 of an inch in. Like that. Remember, I'm wrapping around the corner. Okay. And now, yikes. I meant that was about 1/4 of an inch in. And then if I go 3/4 of an inch from here, then that'll give me that space right there, okay? So we just need to continue masking off in such a way that you have about 3/4 of an inch spacing. And so I'm gonna do that, and I gotta be aware, like, so I need a bit of I need my 3/4 of an inch spacing this way too. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just putting this tape down, and then I may have to go back and lift some of it up and cut it away so that it works right. But this is you know, just kind of, it's not an exact science, it's just you know, putting your tape down in such a way that you can, you have that spacing. And it's going to vary depending on what size painting you have, what size masking tape you have, that kind of thing. So, like this, for example, you can see that this is kind of, I'm just going to trim that piece off right there. There we go. Okay, now let's just figure out what we need to do up here. I need to put some tape on the edge, and I'm just going to work through and get this all masked off. So I have this all masked off, and the difficulty I ran into was right here getting this little 1/4 of an inch strip. And so what I did is I just took my masking tape and I just guessed and cut about 1/4 of an inch strip. But I put the really nice straight edge on the inside here because I already had this part masked off pretty well. So I don't think any whoop-de-doos are going to be that noticeable, and if they are, I'll just go and touch it up with my paintbrush. And so speaking of paintbrush, now we're just going to put our last coat on of paint. Just going to go ahead and paint the other areas. And this is where it really starts to come into shape here. So if you find yourself painting and you're like, I'm not sure if this is supposed to be painted or not, you can always err on the side of caution, because I'll be honest with you, when I made a painting similar to this one the very first time, I didn't even mask off the second time like I just did. I just freehanded right down the center. And even that turned out all right. So you'll notice I'm just going around making sure my tape is pressed down well. And let's just put some paint on this and see what happens. Woo, it's so bright. I mean, not bright, but deep, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Deep. Alright, so let's just continue painting this until it's all covered. Have this all painted. Now it's time to take the tape off. And like I said, you know, if it's not perfect, you can always just go back and touch it up with your paintbrush, little freehand. But really, I mean, for this project, you just have to be patient putting your tape down, okay? But it doesn't require any like particular skill or anything. Okay, so let's just keep taking this off and see what we get. So here we have it. And now just to finish up, I have a package of rub-ons. And you know, I think probably most of us have used these as kids. These come in the scrapbooking section. And it's an easy way to get some embellishment without having to paint or do anything special. So I'm just gonna cut, I think I want the stripes right down the middle. And so if you haven't used rub-ons before, you just place the thing that you want to, the image that you want to rub on top of whatever you're gonna rub, and then use, I think some people, you know, they come with like popsicle sticks or whatever. I'm just going to use the end of my scissors and rub this on. I don't know how it's going to turn out. We'll just see. I'm just going to position this about equal distance like that. Okay. And I'm going to rub. Okay, so I'm going to rub this on, and then I'm going to pick a few more from this package and put them on here and see what I can get, okay? As you're rubbing, you'll start to see it change color a little bit, and you can pull it off like this, and if you see it's not stuck down all the way, just quickly put it back there and pull it up again, and just kind of work your way. As long as you don't remove the position of it, you're all right to just kind of pull it and see if it's sticking or not. Even if it tears while you're doing it, as long as you put it back in the correct position, you can rub it in there. See? All right, so let's just keep adding these rub-ons. Let me show you what I have here. I put the rub on right here, and then if you look right down here, it says play, clap, shout. So it turned out all right. And let me show you this other one I did. I kind of actually like this first one I did better. And this is the blue and the teal, and then I just put the word dreams across the top. So there's two side by side. Well, I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. Let's show you again what we made. This is the one we did during the show. This is the one I did off air, and they're kind of similar, just with a few different colors, different rub-ons. I'll post some pictures on my website if you want to take a closer look at them, as well as a link to this too. So remember, if you want to go to my website, my website address is www.craftedby.us, and you can also go there to see other projects that I have done over time. And if you'd like to subscribe to my podcast, you can through iTunes just by visiting the iTunes store and searching in the podcast section for Crafted by Us. So thanks for joining me today, and I hope you join me again soon.